Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into, well, a world that feels maybe a bit too close for comfort. It's this fictional 2042. And the source material we're looking at, it paints this picture of what they call quiet chaos.
Hmm.
Basically, a world where trust in evidence, facts, it hasn't just faded, it's like it completely collapsed.
Yeah, crushed under like information overload and just intense political polarization.
So our mission here is to kind of pull out the key insights from this
Yeah.
this fictional scenario.
Exactly. And the source material, it really points to two big things defining that time.
Mm,
First, the total politicization of science.
right.
And second, this just ravenous hunger for misinformation. It seems to touch, well, everything.
And the results sound immediate and frankly tragic. This isn't just like obscure corners of the internet we're talking about.
No, not at all.
The sources mention this widespread belief in the contrail conspiracy, the idea that, the trails behind jets are some government plot. Weather control, population control.
Exactly. And that level of distrust, it leads directly to this really devastating consequence they call the winter cough.
Ah, yeah.
The sources describe neighbors, actual neighbors, refusing this universal lung inoculant. And not because of, like, medical side effects.
But because of rumors.
Yeah, persistent rumors about microchips being hidden inside.
Yeah.
And that refusal, it had fatal real-world impacts. This wasn't just online arguments anymore. It was lethal.
Wow. It's shocking how quickly that jump happens from digital distrust to lethal outcomes. And what's really disturbing is that this breakdown, it didn't just stop at health scares, did it? It hit fundamental facts, too.
That's right. Even Elena, the protagonist, she notes politicians just dismissing decades of climate data.
Calling it a political agenda, right?
Yeah.
Even as, like, the sea levels are visibly rising in their fictional city.
That level of just outright dismissal. It shows trust wasn't just weak. It was, like you said, completely shattered.
So how do they fix it? What's the solution proposed in this chaos?
Well, what's fascinating is the sources don't offer some quick tech fix. No new algorithm, no perfect platform comes to the rescue.
Okay.
Instead, the solution is framed as the slow light. It's this long, patient, almost analog climb back.
Slow light. I like that.
Yeah. And the source, it lays out this loop, this necessary cycle. Education has to lead to literacy,
Okay.
and then literacy builds trust. And that trust eventually, maybe, inspires funding again. It's like going back to square one.
A total reversal from the digital speed we're used to. That must have felt incredibly slow.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we get this really great practical example of the slow light working. Elena,
Yeah.
she volunteers.
Right, at the library. The Curiosity Club.
Exactly. At the old defunded town library. Her move wasn't to fight, digital fire with more digital fire. It was actually turn away from the screen.
And her method.
Yeah.
That seems key here. She didn't just stand there and lecture these kids.
Nope.
Especially kids whose attention spans, the source says, were totally shot from all the digital noise.
Right. She gave them tools, actual physical things for discovery. Owl pellets to take apart,
Oh, cool.
magnifying glasses, pond water samples, vinegar, baking soda, really basic stuff.
So the goal was just give them questions and the means to find answers themselves, empirically.
Precisely. Hands-on, verifiable discovery.
Okay, but what's the payoff? Does this humble, low-tech approach actually work against the flood of misinformation?
Well, the source gives us this fantastic breakthrough moment. It happens at the town's Founders Day fair.
Ah, involving Leo, her great-grandson.
Yes. This is where that slow investment really shows its value. Leo had been researching why local bee populations were collapsing.
Okay.
And a town councilman comes by their table, suggests the usual suspect, right? Oh, it must be those new 7G towers killing the bees.
Ah, the easy anecdote. So here's where it gets really interesting then. What did Leo do?
He didn't argue politics. He didn't shout. He countered the anecdote with his data.
His own research.
Yeah, he pulled out his hand-drawn chart, used specific evidence he'd gathered. He pointed out the correlation was clearly with habitat loss and a specific class of pesticides.
And the towers?
He explicitly stated there was no correlation with the tower installations based on the data he had collected.
Wow. Just facts.
That's it. It perfectly captures what the source calls the power of a single, well-evidenced fact. In a world drowning in slick digital lies, the counter isn't necessarily more complexity.
It's something simple, something verifiable. You can point to it.
Exactly, something you can see and test for yourself.
Okay, so if I'm pulling this all together, the most surprising thing here isn't really the problem. The misinformation chaos feels kind of familiar, sadly. It's the solution. The source material seems to argue that fighting this really advanced digital manipulation, it needs this very deliberate, very in-person focus.
Yeah, on experiential learning, empirical evidence, rebuilding that trust, like
Yeah.
one curious kid, one verifiable fact at a time.
Slow.
Very slow work. Which brings us to the final thought for you listening right now.
Okay.
If the source is right, if the strongest defense against sophisticated digital lies is actually the humble, well-evidenced fact, what's one simple, verifiable thing you could commit to understanding, really understanding this week?
That's definitely something to think about. That's your step, maybe, on that slow climb back.